you can't wait until you see the iceberg. You have to have the lifeboats on the raft before it happens. You talk about stocks trading at the highest price to earnings ratios of all times. You're seeing the insider selling. The CEO of Microsoft just sold 50% of his holdings. Elon Musk just sold $11 billion worth of 10 and then another $1 billion worth of Tesla. You're seeing the greatest amount of insider selling at all time.
Welcome back to Liberty and Finance for this weekly market update with Miles Franklin Precious Metals CEO Andy Schectman. This is being recorded on Tuesday, December 14, 2021. Andy, thanks for coming back on.
Good to be here again.
Glad to have you back. It has been 2 weeks since we've had your last visit here. Last week was your wedding anniversary, so got time off for good behavior there. But glad to have you back present with us again, and wanted to get an update from you. Our clients have been asking, and many people are asking, about what's going on with the physical supply and demand dynamics as we head into the end of this year. People have been concerned for some time about runaway devaluation of the currency, and therefore expecting that will be reflected in precious metals as a leading indicator of inflation, as John Williams talks about. However, we're not seeing that clearly yet, and people are concerned. They were also expecting some prior to Basel III coming into effect at the end of this year, beginning of next year, that they might see a scramble for physical as banks had to get honest about what they actually had available to cover unallocated positions, et cetera. Not seeing that impact on the price either. So could you bring us up to date on the on-the-ground availability, supply-demand balance of physical metals and the price action that we're seeing?
Yeah, look, you have the FOMC meeting. You have four of the large central banks. I believe it's the U.S., the Euro, the European Central Bank, the Bank of Japan, and one other. They're all meeting in terms of trying to gauge what they're going to do in terms of inflation and normalizing rates and paring down their balance sheet. Every time we have the FOMC meeting for the last I don't know how many years, and it's today and tomorrow, they always smack gold down and silver down leading up into these meetings. And, when you see inflation running as rampant as it is, when you see the Senate Democrats asking to increase the debt limit by another $2.5 trillion, when you see inflation running at 6.8%, the highest since 1982, and you realize that the Fed really can't normalize their balance sheet without creating a massive hard landing, where you see all the over leverage that's all permeating through the system come collapsing down. I think they have to kill the canary in the gold mine, and they do a good job at it, have for a very long time. It's frustrating. I realize that. It will be that way until it stops. And when it stops, I think it will move faster than anyone can really think possible. And I do think we're getting closer and closer to that. You mentioned Basel III as a catalyst for that stopping. I think when people are expecting a run up into Basel III, I would think it would be the other way around. The banks that are trying to get out of these unallocated short positions, I think need to shake as many people from the tree as possible. And I have been expecting this one last smackdown leading up to the new year. Actually, I'm looking at it the opposite way, whereas they want to get everyone out so that they can drive the price down. You notice they're pushing it below moving averages and resistance levels, which from a technical standpoint gets all the hedge funds to sell and gets all the managed money to sell, so that they can then cover their short positions, as they've been doing really for the last several weeks. This is nothing new, but I think we're getting to the 12th hour. I would expect it to run up after the new year, after they've gotten as many people out, so that the price drops, so that they can cover their short positions without bleeding too much in the way of trying to cover at a much higher price. And they're billions of dollars underwater, so they really, really need to try to smack it. And I think they will do that leading into the new year. Conversely, it's really very disconnected from supply. And it has been really for the better part of the last couple of years, where the demand for physical is completely disconnected, and the supply is completely disconnected from the paper price, the fraudulent paper price we see on COMEX. And so bottom line is that all of the things that you are saying are true, and I think will happen. I just don't think that it's going to happen the way people are thinking it will. I think it's going to happen after the first of the year, after the Basel III net stabilization rules go into effect. And I think they're going to do all they can to try to drive the price lower into the new year so that they can get out of these positions without too much pain, without too much consequence.
I don't know about you, but for me, on days when the price gets significantly smacked down, the phone is ringing off the hook, and that happened again this morning. If this does occur, what you're saying, that we get a continued volatility in price from now to the end of the year, what are your expectations, first of all, for spot price, second of all, for premiums, and thirdly, for availability of physical at that time?
It'll be just like it was in March of 2020. It'll be just like it was in 2008. In 2008, gold, as we've talked about before, fell from 1,000 to 700 and silver from 21 to 9. You're talking a 30% drop in gold, a 60% drop in silver, which would be indicative of everyone dumping everything they had onto the market and running the other direction. In reality, it couldn't have been further from the truth. Same thing happened in March of 2020. After the stock market collapsed, they drove the price down. And it's always the same thing. Oh, the market was collapsing. It was a rush to liquidity, and gold is so liquid, they can sell it quickly and cover their short positions or whatever. That's not the case. It's the counterintuitive narrative that is played out by the big money that is trying to keep people in the system. And if gold and silver were to behave the way that we would expect it to, when inflation is running rampant, when you are getting excuses why you can't taper, and I guarantee you we'll get more excuses, even if the Fed comes out today and tomorrow and says they're going to taper, there'll be an excuse, just like we're seeing at the Bank of England, who decided to hold off on their rate hike until February because of Omicron and the flu and the whatever it is. They're going to find excuses. They always will have excuses. Push comes to shove. I think as it pertains to tapering, they can't normalize the balance sheet. And so they're trying to kill the canary. I think people just need to understand that all manipulations die, especially when they're done for impure reasons. The only way you can manipulate a market is to push it in the direction that it is going. But if you look at how that plays out, when they manipulate the price down in 2008, all the major mints and all the major refineries globally were sold out of product within a week. And we went months on end with nothing to sell, nothing. And no one was selling to us. The market was void of product, both brand new and secondary. And they saw the same thing in March of last year with $11 silver, $21, $22 coins, no matter what it was that you were buying in silver. In other words, it is the law of unintended consequences. You push the price down to create this illusion, and you end up having everyone look at it as a gift and a buying opportunity and a heck of a subsidy. And like that, it just disappears. So if it were based upon real supply-demand fundamentals, I would say, yeah, there'll be lots to choose from. Everyone will be selling everything. But if it's anything like what we've seen in the past, it will be a paper-driven drive-by shooting, specifically to create a narrative, specifically to scare people, specifically to delink the rationale. Make it counterintuitive as it may be, they will delink the rationale for people wanting to run out of dollars and into metals. And I think we would see shortages and very, very high premiums. It's the same playbook that we've seen over and over and over again.
Well, in the face of that, you've got many significant investors who've been riding the wave of the stock market, the bonds, real estate, et cetera, who are wanting to take a significant portion of their chips off the table and put them out of harm's way. So a number of those people who've been talking to us have been saying, yeah, but I'm waiting until we get this big hard drop in metals, and then I'm going to make my move. And I've started to tell them, guess what? You're not the first or second or third person who's told me that in the last month, and I'm concerned that everybody's got this plan where they're waiting for this big smackdown, and then they're all going to try to, quote unquote, make their move and find that there isn't physical available.
Well, this is why herd mentality is so pervasive that, you can't wait until you see the iceberg. You have to have the lifeboats on the raft before it happens. You talk about stocks trading at the highest price to earnings ratios of all times. You're seeing the insider selling. The CEO of Microsoft just sold 50% of his holdings. Elon Musk just sold $11 billion worth of 10 and then another 1 billion worth of Tesla. You're seeing the greatest amount of insider selling at all time. And you put that in respect, flip it around. Bank of America came out with a report 2 weeks ago that said we've had 19 years worth of inflows into the U.S. market, 900 billion in 2021, which is more than the 19 years cumulative preceding combined. So you're talking more money and more leverage, highest leverage in ETFs, highest margin debt, highest call option leverage that you've ever seen, ever. And now you got more insider selling than all time. And you look at the bond market, it used to be a good investment when America was creditworthy. But now when you're buying bonds, you're in effect loaning money to the largest debtor that has ever existed in the history in the world. And in exchange, you're receiving a return well below the rate of inflation. It's craziness. So if they actually stopped for a moment and thought about what it was they were trying to get out of, maybe they would move a little bit quicker into an asset class that is wickedly undervalued. And even if we see some sort of a big push down in price, I would argue that the global demand is so strong that it really won't be long lasting whatsoever. I can't imagine they can hold the price down when the rest of the world is accumulating as voraciously as they are. And so, this is why so few people ever succeed in investing, Dunnigan, because they all follow the herd and wait for the validation. This is why you have to trust your gut. I mean, I watched your interview with Rick Roll the other day and always do. And, Rick has told me many times personally that the most money he's ever made is when he were buying assets that were out of favor, that no one wanted. You can't wait until they become in favor. You have to buy when they're out of favor, and you have to sell at the top. And if you look at the bond market, it's at the peak of a 30-year bull market. That's got to end, interest rates are going fully negative. And you look at a stock market that is defying gravity and is trading at the highest price to earnings ratios with the lowest dividend yield ever. These are markets that are wickedly, classically overvalued, where 19 years worth of inflow go into the market in 1 year. This is the time to be leaving in favor of undervalued assets. Even if the performance is counterintuitive, we all know in our gut that this is a very, very manipulated market. And they're doing it specifically because things are so tenuous, things are so bad, they don't want everyone fleeing. Look at what Russia and China are doing. They are striking unilateral relationships all across the Middle East and Africa. And now you have Russia doing the same thing with India. They're creating business incentives. They're creating military deals. They are all de-dollarizing and moving away from the dollar. The central banks are. And I think that people would be wise to take a lesson from Vladimir Putin here and leave while the getting is good and move into something that will keep you out of harm's way when we see this event in the dollar that everyone in their heart thinks is going to happen.
Changing gears, we have a question submitted by a client who says they're concerned about the potential for fake coins. We're entering into an era of potentially reduced trust. We certainly saw an unprecedented amount of social unrest, riots, defund the police, everything over the past year and a half, 2 years. People are looking with concern. The reason they're looking at metals in the first place is to try to reduce risk. One of the risks that they're concerned about, even in that regards, is the potential for fake coins. And one concern specifically was voiced about how do you know whether or not any graded semi-numismatic coins like U.S. gold liberties or gold St. Gaudens coins, double eagles, may or may not be authentic. Tips that people can use to make sure that they get authentic semi-numismatic coins.
Well, first of all, buy from a reputable company. We stand behind everything that we sell. When we ship things out, they're video cameraed under dual custody, and the serial numbers on the PCGS and NGC holders are clearly visible to the camera. When a client receives those coins, if there's any question at all, they can go to the PCGS or the NGC website and type in the serial number on the back of the coin, on the back of the holder, which will show the specifics of that particular coin. And you're right, counterparty risk is something that I think will take a more prominent role in people's mentality. I think it's a big deal. But don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Don't buy from places where you are asking for trouble, like eBay, like flea markets, like Craigslist. Buy only from reputable dealers who stand behind their product and have a good reputation, and that won't be an issue. But here again, PCGS and NGC do all they can to eliminate this. Furthermore, there was a company in Minneapolis several years back that was selling fake PCGS coins, and I know PCGS got involved in the lawsuit. I know that they were shut down and the owner was arrested very quickly. Just buy from reputable companies and it won't be an issue. And I understand the question. I think it's valid. I'll tell you that in 31 years, I can count on literally half of one hand all the items that I've seen that have been counterfeit. And all of the main big companies have machinery, including just a basic scale, first and foremost. And then from there, all of the machinery that detects fraudulent fake items really, really, really quickly. So from our standpoint, I'm not concerned about it. But buying stuff from third parties, buying stuff from eBay, buying stuff from entities that don't have established track record of integrity and honesty, I guess would open the door for that. But buy from good companies like us and the other handful of major companies out there, and that won't ever be a problem.
Wanting an update from other clients who've been asking us about our Canadian sales process that we announced is upcoming. If you could give us an update on that.
Yeah, so our partnership with a large Royal Canadian Mint distributor is complete. We are able to assist clients who want to place orders right now in excess of 10,000 Canadian. We've done that prior to launching the website. The website's done. They are beta testing and finalizing it. I am really hoping that we'll be able to launch it this Thursday in 2 days. So we're really, 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 really close to it. And so I would say that there's pretty close to 100% chance that by next Tuesday it's launched and ready to go. We are not able to take orders under 10,000 this way right now just because it becomes too much of a logistical problem for us. 10,000 or more in Canadian right now, we are able to actually take the order within a few days, maybe as soon as 2 days from today. Our website will be up. Clients will be able to purchase directly in Canadian dollars, and I promise it's getting closer. Look, websites are certainly not my forte, and website developers are long on promises and sometimes a little bit short on delivery. And it's been an experience both on the website we're building here in the States and the one in Canada. The one in Canada, however, is done, and we expect to launch it maybe even as soon as the next 2 days. But again, anyone out there who wants to place an order for $10,000 Canadian or more, we are able to take that. By next week, this time, we'll be able to take just about any order that people want to place. And
that leads us to our weekly special. You always strive very hard, even in times of difficult physical availability, to find something that we can offer at a decent price for our clients and our viewers. What do you have for us this week?
One of the benefits of doing this for as long as I have, done again 31 years, is, and when you look at all the companies out there, most of them have been around for 10, maybe 12, is my litany of my long list of friends and business associates in this industry, many of which kind of hide in the weeds, people don't know about. And I was able to buy from a distributor who bought too many for his own liking, 70,000 2021 Austrian Vienna Philharmonics in boxes. They will be in my warehouse Monday or Tuesday. They have already been shipped, and we're going to offer them at $3.60 over the price of silver. That's got to be the lowest price in the country, probably by a long shot. They will be available for immediate delivery early next week. I will caution everyone when we talk about delivery leading up into Christmas and the New Year, you need to expect a little bit slower in terms of UPS shipping, as they're shipping gifts and packages all around the globe. And so, but they will be in stock ready for immediate delivery by Monday or Tuesday. 2021 Philharmonics at $3.60 over. Now, last week we talked about the 1 ounce Noah's Ark and the 1/4 ounce Noah's Ark. I will continue to offer those until they're sold out through the new year. The quarter ounce Noah's Ark, I believe, were $2.45 over their melt value, and the 1 ounce Noah's Ark, these are all 2022, were $3.75 over the price of silver. Both come in really neat wood boxes, 500 coins each, whether it be 500 of the quarter ounce coins. And mind you, I've been doing this for a long time. I've never held a quarter ounce silver modern mint coin ever. They're neat. I just bought a box for myself, haven't received them yet, but we'll offer those as well. So just to recap, 2021 Silver Philharmonics at 360 over, 2022 Noah's Ark coins, and those are made by the Geiger Mint in Germany, the highest quality mint I've ever worked with on behalf of the Armenian government. And then the quarter ounce 2022 Noah's Ark at $2.45 over melt value.
And just another note about end of year shipping. I was told by our logistics department that because of end of year, well, both the holidays as well as end of year inventory, there are going to be a definite pause in shipping from after December 23rd. There'll only be one day, December 28th, when they're going to get some boxes out. Otherwise, it'll be waiting till January 4th. So just be aware, folks, that if you're going to order something that you expect to get before the new year, it has to be first paid by wire, second it has to be in stock.
Could also be paid by cryptocurrency because that ships immediately.
Or crypto and in stock, and that'll only be for the next couple days. And then we'll have to expect that your shipping, you can still continue to purchase through the holidays, but your shipments are going to happen in January after the next few days.
What an amazing year it's been, Don. Again, I mean, it's amazing how fast the year has just blown by. Again, my thanks to you and your family. It's an honor to have now gone 2 years working together, and I just enjoy the heck out of it. I enjoy our Tuesday programs, and it's an honor. So I wish you and your family and everyone out there happy holidays, a very happy, healthy New Year. And you know, it's we have a lot to be thankful for, even in the midst of all of this craziness. And so thanks for helping us get the word out, and thanks for being such a good partner in business. You're awesome to work with.
Yeah, speaking of getting the word out, I wanted to thank you for this opportunity, but also I just got a call from a client who's actually a money manager, who is a financial advisor for people. He has a whole circle of clients that he works with, letting me know that he had sent out a end of year newsletter to all of them, explaining once again about the impacts of inflation on their savings and their nest egg and that sort of thing, and suggesting that they seriously consider, if they have not already, taking a position in physical gold and silver as a hedge for their portfolio. We're seeing more and more of that. So getting the word out is something we all can help. We can all do. In this time, I know over the last 2 years, it feels like there are a lot of things we can't do. That's one thing we can do, is just to try to be open, to be free and generous in talking with people about, because most people have not heard the good news about this. So Andy, thanks for being part of that here on Liberty and Finance.
My pleasure, my friend. You stay well. Look forward to talking to you next week.
This is Dunnigan Kaiser, founder of Liberty and Finance. I'm now a licensed gold and silver broker for Miles Franklin. Call me directly for the physical gold and silver that you need at the best price, with personalized private service from one of the oldest and best companies in the business. 31 years strong, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, 0 complaints, licensed and bonded. For physical delivery, vault storage, or precious metals IRAs, excellent prices, privacy, and confidentiality. Pay by check, money order, ACH, bank wire, or Bitcoin. Satisfaction guaranteed. For fastest service, just call 1-888-81-LIBERTY. That's 888-81-LIBERTY. And either I or one of my sons and fellow brokers will call you back as soon as we can and understand your needs.